online, if you offer a little bit more online freedom for people to use
And talking
Wi-Fi.
about journalists, let's take up the day. Let's the library get a lot of newspapers around the country. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people, even in Warren, use the library to look at the Tribune, or
Well,
actually go back into
well,
the
how do you do that
archives.
too? Oh, okay. For print. Well, I guess what I'm
Yes.
saying now, since a lot of times it's more digital, what do you do? And because if you're the digital people, you're like, oh, what? Because you want everyone to have their own individual digital subscription.
Right,
If everyone
right,
just go
right.
in the library and look it up, then
No, actually, they go looking for the print, the hanging still on the racks there.
well, yeah, yeah.
Like it's the 20th century. But also, the library is good research. You have microfilm of all the editions of the Tribune dating back into the 1800s, even. So that's
Okay.
really a great thing if you're into that kind of thing. And I think just in general, we've lost the sense of history and and making kids excited about that, because for years we just had history teachers who weren't interested in the subject themselves.
Well, could the library become like more of a resource center? Where again, I'm
Right.
not saying take all the books out, but it's like I was talking to somebody on here a few weeks back about movie theaters, and people were like, "Well, the movie theaters aren't getting as popular." Okay, well, maybe you don't always have
Have
to
a
see the
screening room.
yeah, or maybe you don't always need to see the latest movie at a movie theater, but in terms of movie theaters, you could show a game there or something. Uh,
Right.
why don't you kind of adapt to the times?
Right.
Same thing. I know, like the
Hey,
West.
wouldn't you like to pack in the library on Christmas and put Netflix up there, the Netflix NFL game for those that don't have Netflix?
Right. Well, I would say put that in the movie theater, but I'm talking about for
Okay.
the actual library itself. Community rooms, community events. I know
All
Westerville.
right.
It used to be a dry city, so they have a museum kind of dedicated back to that. It could become. You could have some community, stuff set up there. Maybe if there's not a movie theater in town, you have a screening room. Now, if you
Right.
already have a movie theater in town, let the movies take that. But I think you can adapt your place to be that. I think the problem right now with the libraries is that's become a political lightning rod where, oh, where are we going
Right.
to put in the libraries and everything else? Okay,
Right.
instead of worrying about what books you're showing or, are you going to have this exhibit from DEI days or whatever, uh, focus more on how can you best support the communities that you're in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
And the way I answered it, it just showed my intellect about, and maybe that's how library officials are. They're only worried about books first, like newspaper editors used to be worried about their printed product instead of the online product. So, like you're saying, they need to just change their thinking a little bit on what kind of a community resource the library really should be.
yeah, and definitely sell books.